Happy noon this Easter Tuesday of an uncertain time. Although a guided meditation was scheduled for today, I will be actually using what one calls a meditation monologue with you. It is a bit different from a guided meditation, though with many similarities. I found it as I was researching for guided meditation ideas. It is done by Barbara McNish, who writes for the Sanctuary Center. She wrote this reflection some years ago to bring to life what Mary Magdalene's experience might have been like at the first Easter. I'd like to share with you this Easter meditation monologue. It is actually based on today's gospel reading. So let us enter into the monologue with Mary Magdalene. I invite you to sit comfortably. Close your eyes. Enter into this reflection with your whole being. Try to put yourself into Mary Magdalene's skin, as it were. Imagine yourself in Jerusalem. Imagine the mood of the people, of Jesus' followers, of Mary, Jesus' mother, Mary Magdalene herself. Place yourself there. What would you have been feeling? Were you afraid? Were you disappointed that Jesus, in whom you had believed, was now dead? Before we begin, take a few deep breaths. In and out. In and out. Feel the quiet. Shh. Here's Mary Magdalene. Come and see. Come and see. Please come with me and see with your own eyes. I've just come from the tomb and I saw him. Jesus, he's alive. He's alive. Rabboni. How can I even start to describe everything that has happened over the last few days? It all seems so unbelievable, impossible even, like a nightmare or a dream. I have not really slept since Wednesday. Thursday night was filled with prayers, pleading with God for Jesus' safety after the arrest in the garden. And then Friday. How can anyone sleep after Friday? The betrayal of every hope, unutterable shock. Nothing could efface the image burning in my eyes of his tormented, dying body on the cross. I have cried every tear I had until there were none left in me. I am dry in mouth and skin and shriveled in heart. His death was my death too. But now, at dawn this morning, I took the perfume and left Jerusalem by the garden gate. I wanted to be alone, so I left the other women sleeping. We had clung to each other in our constant weeping since Friday, but I needed to see the tomb again. I wanted to be away from their neediness, guilt, and agony, and alone with my own. I needed to say my own goodbye to the one I loved the most. I was not ready to let him go. What was there for me without him? He was everything. How could the one who had already raised my spirit from the death of abuse and addiction I was imprisoned in, the one whom I had seen raise 3 people from physical death, how could he be dead? As I left the house, it was as though I had also died and left my body behind. Every detail is seared on my mind now, but it had a dreamlike unreality to it then. The mist hung in the valleys. The dew on the grass beneath my feet, and the gray olive branches overhead made the cool dawn silver in the paling light. There was an unnatural stillness in the air, as if the whole world was waiting for something. At that moment, I was flung to the ground. The jar I carried smashed, infusing the air with spicy fragrance. The earth was erupting ahead of me. Did you feel the earthquake here? Can you still feel the vibrations in the air and earth? That was the moment. I am sure of it. All the numbness fell away, and a tremendous, heady fear shook me as I clung to an upturned tree root. When some small courage had returned, I looked beyond the tree towards the tomb. I could see that the rock had been moved away from the entrance. What could this mean? Had they taken his body away? Hadn't they done enough already? I couldn't go on. My trembling courage broke, and with shaking knees, I ran back to the upper room. I had to tell Peter and John. When I spoke of what I had seen, they immediately got up and ran to the tomb. I followed them, but I couldn't keep up. But I saw them enter the tomb and pick up something white from within. Then they left, looking puzzled. Alone again and weeping, I went to the tomb and peered inside. There were 2 people there, but no Jesus, no body. I was so weary and confused, I didn't notice much about them. They asked me, "Why are you crying? Why do you look for the living among the dead?" So I said, "They have taken him away. Jesus. I don't know where he is." But I didn't want to talk. I just wanted Jesus. I just wanted Jesus. When I turned away, there was yet another man. He asked me the same question. I begged him to tell me where Jesus was. Surely he would know if he worked in the burial ground. He just said one word in response, and with it, my world turned upside down. He said, Mary. And it was his voice. Rabboni? My voice cracked. And then came surging, tumultuous joy. I fell at his feet and clung to him. He was alive. I touched him, warm, solid, and oh, so real. My life was not over, but here in the flesh, resurrected. He spoke again. Do not hold on to me, Mary. It is time for me to let go. But I have a task for you. Tell my beloved brothers that I am alive, and I will meet them in Galilee. I am returning to my Father and your Father, to my God and your God. I looked into his eyes. They were brimming with love and boundless, joyful life. The horror, weariness, and agony of grief were lifted away in an instant, and I fell light as a feather. To do his bidding was my delight. So I went again to the upper room. My glowing face must have looked so strange to them. Everyone there was pale and exhausted, puffy-eyed from silent crying. There were no tears left. They could not believe what I had to say, but just the remembrance of his beautiful face, alive and well, completely replacing the nightmare image of Friday, sustained me. I was not raving again. I had never been more in my right mind. I had truly seen him. First, he loved me. Then he healed me. Then he died for me. Rising, he gave me purpose and a reason for living. Living life in his freedom and joy, which I had not dared to believe even existed. Rejoice, rejoice with me, for God is good, and God's love endures forever. The Lord has made it possible for every one of us to truly live because he truly is alive. There are no tears left. After a few moments, I invite you to come back to your own environment. Open your eyes gently. Carry this experience with you as you continue your day. Thank you for sharing this time with us. This afternoon, the Chaplet of Divine Mercy will be prayed with Sister Jude in Spanish and in English at 3:30 with Father John. This evening, you are invited to a fireside chat with Father Larry. If you have any questions for him, please email to catholicwyndham@gmail.com. Peace be with you.